The whole of Ramadan, Ramadan is immersed in Allah's mercy. In other words, imagine the rewards, untold mercies, untold forgiveness, immense forgiveness. The human being cannot even think, contemplate, cannot even reach to thinking, full of hikmah, wisdom and ni'mas. Such a great month, the complete month. The whole of Ramadan, if we look at the summary of it or the learning of it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put in this final third. In other words, from the first third, then the second third, and then the whole of Ramadan. If you take the whole of Ramadan in its key, brief summary, it has been inserted or put into this final third. It's placed in this final third. So it's so important, this final third of Ramadan, that the whole of Ramadan, if you gathered it together, it's there, the summary of it in this final third. And if we look at it in this way, that the person who takes the final third, then he's taken the whole of Ramadan. Subhanallah. Yes? Whoever gathers and achieves the final third of Ramadan, he's attained the whole of Ramadan. Yes, this shows how the final third is the key for the whole of Ramadan. And in these 10 days, in the last Ashura, Allah Ta'ala has put the whole summary of the 10 days. So the last third is the summary of the whole of Ramadan. And the summary of the last 10 days, Allah has put in itikaf. Yes, the seal, or you can say the concentration of these last 10 days is in itikaf. In other words, so we summarize again that the whole of Ramadan, if we condense it, now itikaf, the beauty of itikaf, where is it present? If we take now, condense itikaf now, this ibadah, then it is all present in seclusion. Maraqabah. This is the real maraqabah. This is where it started. In Naqshbandi silsila, in the Naqshbandi order, maraqabah is very important, essential. All of the levels, spiritual levels in this silsila, they are attained via maraqabah. And all the asbaq, the lessons, all of the asbaq, all of them are founded on maraqabah. So from maraqabah, a person ascends. Without maraqabah, there's nothing. In maraqabah, you're not doing dhikr, ibadah, you're not doing anything. Maraqabah, all you're doing is focusing, concentrating. Your mind, your focus is on your Rabb, your Lord, the Creator. In other words, it is a state of isolation, seclusion, and it's very important for a person. So for a muttaqi, Allah Ta'ala has given us Ramadan and He has given us itikaf. Subhanallah. That when the man sits in itikaf and he tries and makes effort to acquire taqwa, and when he adopts that method, that he starts to love the seclusion and being on his own in isolation, then without anything else needed, then he will attain that goal. So a person cannot become the muttaqi without having that love and desire for practically implementing isolation, seclusion. So the person who wants to be on his own, when he holds that dear, connecting to his Lord in seclusion. So seclusion is such a thing that when a person is lonely on his own, it connects a person to his Rabb. But remember one thing, that this is Ramadan, and there's itikaf. In itikaf, this is being rehearsed, and it's been explained how important this action is for a muttaqi, to become a muttaqi, that a person should hold dear being on his own, seclusion. But our deen isn't a deen of seclusion, that when we come out of Ramadan, then we'll stay in itikaf. Because the muttaqi, what does he have to do? Is to implement. So for example, it's not that you can just wrap yourself in a garment from all sides and go into seclusion of Ramadan. This is not our deen. Our deen is a societal deen, social intercourse. We have to live in society, we have to live amongst others. Our deen, it teaches us how to live in society. And on top of that, it teaches us the adab, the mannerisms, etiquettes for this, for that person, the rights of people, this person's rights are this. And the person who doesn't fulfill the haqooq is not a mutaqi. So we realize two things here. That on one side we are given the lesson of seclusion, being on one's own, connecting to his Lord. And on the other side the deen is saying you have to fulfill the rights, societal rights. If you love and hold dear seclusion, what about wife, children, home? You'll have to leave that to become the muttaqi. So you have to acquire taqwa, attain taqwa. And all lifelong then stay in itikaf, do we? So then where will the rights go? The rights of the people around us. And the biggest thing is haqooqul ibad, haqooq of society, through which a person gets elevation and progression. So what is being taught here? Actually, in itikaf, we're not being told that we should detach ourselves from the world and just go onto a mountain, into a jungle. The Prophet ﷺ did go on the mountain. He did embark on that. And he did go into seclusion. But then when he was given the deen, then he came back towards the creation. He spread the deen. La ilaha illallah, the kalima. He introduced this kalima and verse to the whole of mankind. Subhanallah. So, seclusion, itikaf, this practice, the meaning isn't that we just sit permanently in seclusion in the room and we just do ibadah. And Allah Ta'ala is saying, no, there's another lesson that this is given to us. That we don't just continue that ongoing. The lesson we're being given is that in seclusion you stay and you should hold dear being on your own. And this is the way for you to progress, which we call maraqabah. But what seclusion is that? That we are practicing, that we are rehearsing. What is that? That there should be the remembrance in the heart. In the heart. So, your heart should be attached to your friend, our Rabb, and our hands and body is living in the world. So we're not being taught to physically go into hiding. Rather, the heart should be in hiding. Now remember this couplet, verse. That there could be thousands of attractions around us. Thousands of jalwas. Thousands of attractions and things that are attracting us. But even then I stay in khalwat, in seclusion, because I have made a relationship between my Rabb and my heart. So since my heart has got a relationship with my Rabb, you should make your heart like this. That you could have thousands of attractions around you. There's a majma, a gathering. You could be in your shop. You could be present amongst your wife and children. As Aisha Siddiqa radiyallahu ta'ala anha, there's a hadith that the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was always attached to Allah. He was always thinking of Allah. There was not a moment that he wasn't attached to Allah. He sat with his wives, his family.